Today.
I am great. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me. I just thought you were effervescent in this film. Honestly, you just lit up the screen. You were amazing in this role.
Oh my God,
Um,
that's so kind.
well, I'm not joking. Like I just kept looking at you and as this character, and she just, despite everything she was going through, she just brought a smile to my face because you just were fantastic. You really really did a great job, and I wanted to know, first of all, congratulations because I know you won the audience award at Tribeca. I mean, how does that make you feel? Clearly, everybody's connecting with this movie and with
It still
Jerry.
gives me like chills, honestly, when when I think about it. Because I feel like the audience award is like the best one because
Yes.
it's true. It's this is what people who just went to the festival, saw the movie, and they just thought that there were no politics involved. There were no like it was just like, I like this movie.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean it's crazy because yeah, I don't think any of us really expected it to like blow up in the way that it has.
Yeah.
And like I think I was a little nervous about how it would be, how, or not even how we, but like how Cherry as like a character would be received. And so like to hear things like that is just like so nice and reaffirming and just like really special to hear. So thank
Well,
you.
good, good. Well, you deserve it. I honestly, you really connect with this character because there's really not a girl out there who can't relate to her, what she's going through, but you make her feel so real. Like, and what I love so much about this movie is you're right, it's not political. Look, it was made before all this crap is going on in the States. It's boggles my mind as a parent, as a woman who I anyway, we could talk about that for a million
It's
years, but
terrifying. Yeah.
it is terrifying. But she's going through like, what should she do? And she's got to make up her mind. Yet she's struggling with it, but she still moves on. How did you connect with her?
I just I just made her one of my friends.
Mm,
Um, like I think that you can find pieces of her in all of your girlfriends. Or at least I could.
yeah,
And I think that if you just take someone and put them in like a real world scenario, I mean, life goes on, if
yeah,
you're dealing with any kind of big decision like that. I mean, you still have to go through your day-to-day life, and maybe you're not ready to talk about things with someone, and it doesn't always have to be this like crushing, like lay down in the floor sobbing dealing with it, like, because sometimes that's just not how people deal with things.
right, yeah,
And so I think it was just really cool to be able to walk through that timeline with her of just like, okay, how do I rationally, you know, want to think about this even just with myself? Because sometimes I don't think you're ready to really deal with something. You're like, oh, I have to do this, or I have
sure.
to fix this in order to do this. And so yeah, I don't know. I wanted to make it about her whole life rather
Hmm.
than just this one part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's upsetting and sad because she doesn't really have anybody to talk to about it except her
Yeah.
grandma, who is kind of in a way
Halfway
losing it
there.
anyway. She so I guess she felt safe because she goes, who even knows if she's going to remember or whatever, right? But I found that so touching and but yet so sad that she didn't even have like a best friend that she could go to. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
yeah, like how did you feel when you read this script and what was your kind of initial reaction to it?
I was really excited to play someone so interesting.
Yeah.
And I think that you see a lot, like she deals with a lot internally rather than, talking to a lot of these people, but she's also kind of just like, I don't know if I would describe her as selfish, but I think that she just is really kind of wandering through her life, which is part of why maybe she hasn't nailed down,
Yeah.
these solid friends or these solid relationships with her parents. And Sophie actually was like really helpful in a lot of this because, in a lot of ways, this was her story.
Right.
And when she had her abortion, she also didn't tell anyone. And when I was, getting ready for it, I talked to, some of my friends and like friends of friends who had had similar experiences. And what was really interesting is that is actually not super out of the norm.
Mm.
And it's
Yeah, I
really,
guess. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's really interesting that even in this day, it's still so taboo, like even like amongst our friends. Just because maybe at least when I was going through that process of like, well, I mean, are my friends going to even think that I would be a fit mother? Like, do I think that because there's so
yeah,
many, there's just, especially if you're not sure of your decision, I think that sometimes it's hard to open that door and be like, well, what do you think? Or what do you like,
right.
you know?
Yeah. But I don't think she was selfish in any way. I think she was just, I don't want to call her immature, but she just wasn't ready to grow up yet, and then
Right.
bang, this
Yeah.
happens and you got to make a life decision,
Oh, yeah.
you know? Yeah, it makes you really, really think.
Yeah.
Just to lighten the mood a little bit, your roller skating skills were really good. Was that something that came naturally to you?
There's like this really horrific video that I had to send to casting. I did my auditions and then I did my callbacks and all of that stuff, and my agent calls and he's like, okay, so they really want to go with you. However, you're roller skating. It's really going to be contingent on how you do in these like 2 lessons. So they hooked me up with the LA Roller Girls. Morgan Wesky was my coach.
Wow.
And yeah, and they are incredible athletes, beautiful dancers. It's like ice skating on roller skates. And
Yeah.
I couldn't even stop. Like in my like video, they were like, we just need some tape to see like where you're at, like where you're starting from. And so I was like, okay. I had this like really pathetic loop around like a skating rink and I like crashed into the wall because I had no other way of stopping.
Right.
I was like, I hope this works for you. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
And yeah, I practiced every day for 6 weeks leading up to it. And I felt pretty good
Yeah.
going into it, but there's also just a lot of pressure because our takes were so long. We
Right.
started in 7 takes. And so if I'm like roller skating halfway through the scene, I just felt a lot of pressure of if I burn this take, that's going to cost us an hour plus of like resetting and all of these things. And also like I don't
Yeah.
want to run into anything or anyone. But it was really fun to have something so physical to learn
Right.
while I was also doing the character work and just like the acting, which was a new thing for me to have something so physical.
Yeah. Well, so your next film, you can be a roller derby queen, maybe.
Man, I hope so. I hope we can. That I also found out this winter that my roller skating skills do somewhat translate to ice skating. So
Okay. Okay.
maybe there's something there.
Yeah. And when you were growing up and you were a young girl, you took ballet. Is that correct? Did that help you
Yeah.
in any way? Did that help? Like,
Yes and no. I
yeah.
think that it helped with body control, but
Right.
some of it was really counterintuitive. Like I had to do some spins, and the way that you turn in ballet is obviously like on both toes,
Yes.
whereas in skates it's one toe and one heel, and so
Right.
like 10 plus years of muscle memory were really working against me. But
Well, you
I
did a good job. I got to tell you.
thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. You fooled me. Well, like, no, you didn't fool me. You did a good job. You really, really did.
Thank you so much.
So and now that this is going to be released and stuff, and I'm glad that you're getting some good response to it. Obviously, have you heard? Has anybody come to you and given you a story, like just telling you that they'd seen the film and what it meant to them? Anything stand out for you on that?
Yeah, actually, I mean, we've been going to festivals all around the world for, the better part of a year now. And I feel like maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, when we hit like another festival or something, I'll end up getting like some really sweet direct messages on Instagram.
Nice.
Just from, other women, or I've even had a couple of men who were like, this really opened my eyes on this topic and really like just like realizing the depth of
Yeah.
these kinds of circumstances and, questioning a pregnancy. And I even like sometimes it's just like, hey, that was a really special movie that made me feel something, even if it doesn't connect in a personal way, like to like I had an abortion or I didn't have one or like
Yeah.
whatever. Sometimes it is just I really liked your movie and that was a really amazing performance or whatever. And I think that that is always just really special because I think that, I mean, the reason I got into it, and I'm sure a lot of the reasons why other people get into acting is because you have such a love for storytelling and you want to share, you know, wonderful stories with people. So
Yeah. Yeah.
anytime I get
Nice.
one of those, I like take a little screenshot and I will send it to my husband and I'm like, look at this.
Oh, that's great. That's so awesome. So just to wrap it up, anything else that you have coming up now that you're working on or that you've shot that we should keep an eye open for you?
Yeah. So I just I'm currently streaming on Netflix for a show
Yes.
called From Scratch.
Yeah. How did you like working on that? My God, what a
Amazing.
cast.
Are you joking?
Yeah.
I got to go to Italy.
I know, right?
Like,
Yeah, my heart
oh,
bleeds. Smallest violin. Yeah, yeah.
oh my God. Like it was insane. I got to fly first class and I was like, they picked me up in this fancy car and I was
Love
like,
it.
I was eating ramen yesterday. I'm eating
Yes.
Italian pastas.
Oh,
Ideal.
how awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Great. And I have a little part in the new Russo brothers movie, Electric State.
Okay, that's amazing
Yeah.
because I'm talking to Joe Russo tomorrow for his new series Citadel, and I'm very excited about that.
My
It's
husband is gonna be first AD.
Get
On
Out.
yeah, they start shooting. I think he's going for prep in August, so
That
we'll be
show is, I've watched the first three episodes. It's like, oh my God. Oh my God.
amazing.
But the Russo brothers, like, holy mackerel, that's good to get in with those guys, I would
I
say.
know. Yeah, for sure.
Well, good stuff. I'll look for that. Well, listen, congratulations on Cherry. Like I said, you were really, really magnificent in this. Honestly, I think I'll be, just remember the little guy here when you become a big, huge actress that you'll talk to me again. Okay.
Oh,
Thank you so much for your time, Alex. I really appreciate it. Have a great
thank
day.
you. You too.
Okay. Take care. Bye bye.